Better cock your pistols.
Thank you. Hello, Tabby. Hello, my little darling. How are you? Little hors d'oeuvre, huh? Here we go. Beautiful for you.
Tabby, come back here, come back here. Tabby, I've got something for you, Tabby. Come on, Tabby. Here we go. I know where you are. Come on. Tabby.
Matt Houston used to say, if the best things in life are free, how come everyone's always squabbling over the money? And boy, were the squabbles out today.
I know, but if you tell me how much...
What's going on in there?
They've been there an hour. Sir, I just have a couple of papers for you to sign. It's nothing important. May I, sir?
Oh, help yourself, Murray. Listen, I don't believe I've ever seen you take a drink before.
Oh, just at weddings. Wakes.
Murray, what is going on in there?
Would you excuse me just a minute? Thank you.
How long are you going to be? Girl,
CJ, what'd you get me into?
Well, now, Houston, you're a man who's fascinated by intriguing cases. Well, this one's a dilly. Do you remember reading in yesterday's paper about the death of that cat food millionaire?
Well, who could forget? I mean, they're right in the middle of Beverly Hills. A man gets mauled to death by his favorite tiger.
Yes, William, folks call him Felix Randolph. One of the richest men in America, married 4 times, divorced 4 times.
You mean that's what's out there right now?
You got it. Wives 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, my heart, be still.
Can we get this show on the road? We have been waiting long enough. Who's this, your gardener?
Matlock Houston. May I present the first Mrs. Randolph, presently known as Mrs. Lauren Calder, Matlock Houston.
Well, you will have to do. Now, we have a problem. One of us murdered Felix, and we want to hire you to find out who.
Can we hurry up? I have to go.
Zizi Tabori, wife number 2.
I have a very important date with my masseur.
Did she say murder?
Don't be shocked if we don't see him grief-stricken, Mr. Houston. You see, Felix was the world's nastiest man.
To know him was to hate him.
This is one thing we all agree on.
Except for me. I loved him.
Oh, brother. Say hello to number 4.
Hi.
I did. For a little while.
The acting lessons are beginning to pay off. Of course, the wringing hands clutched to the bosom may be a little too much.
At least I have a bosom to clutch.
Now.
Ladies, please.
It's a miracle of modern medicine.
Don't give away secrets, girls. Gravity gets us all in the end.
You're right, darling. We followed you in.
Darling.
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 Zizi.
Ladies, just hold your horses for a minute. CJ, please.
Well, Felix Randolph had a will. Now, in that will, he insisted that someone was trying to murder him.
That's the word I heard.
One of his ex-wives. Now, obviously, he didn't want the murderer to profit from his death, so...
None of us gets a nickel until the guilty one is found. Until then, all the money goes to the support of his cats.
$70 million.
You see, Felix was one of those lovely husbands who played cat and mouse, the rat.
So, we need you to find out which one of them, or us,
You.
killed him, and then to settle the will.
To tell the truth, Mr. Houston, we all need the money.
Ladies, I'll tell you what. We'll take a look at all the details
right,
in
we'll
the
go,
will and its provisions. Right.
Would you hurry it up, cowboy, because as Miss Goody Two-Shoes said, we all need the bucks.
Right.
And what a cowboy!
I have to see him alone. I have to see him.
All right.
Look, I think I can help you solve this case.
Bye-bye. CJ, I want to have a word with you.
You bet.
You know, CJ, 4 ex-wives and a whole bunch of big cats is not exactly my style.
Well, I know, Houston, but if it'll make you feel any better, he didn't do too well himself. Now, here you have Felix Randolph, famous cat food millionaire, owned the largest private reserve of cats in the world, not to mention 4 big cats who just left your office.
Yeah, I guess you could call him the fearless feline foursome.
Yes, you could. Good.
You could.
Apparently, all parties got what they deserved because the word vanity, that's Felix. He took 4 or 5 showers a day, loved to splash himself with cologne. Ironically enough, it's called Crown Jaguar.
CJ, the man ran a private zoo. He must have known the danger that's involved with that. Now, why do the police think it's murder?
Apparently, Novelli had a conversation with this young man, Buddy Young. He tends to the animals. He's a very simple kid, but he's very sweet. And he insists that all the big cats are kept under lock and key all the time.
It means the killer cat had to be let out of the cage.
So it seems.
Yeah.
Houston, where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go out to Felix's Beverly Hills cat farm, see what I can find out. Now, meanwhile, you dig up what you can on the ex-wives. If we're lucky, we'll find out that they all did it. Slowly! Help! Help! Somebody! Hello? Anybody home?
Get away now. Pasha? Bad boy? Back in your house. Good. It's okay now. I'm sorry. I let him out when I was washing the cage. I think you scared him. That's why he growled.
What's that? Is this the tiger that killed Felix Randolph?
They're gonna take him away. They're gonna put him to sleep. Pasha's a good tiger. He's pretty old, though, but he doesn't see so well anymore. He used to let Mr. Felix pet him
Mr. Randolph used to pet this tiger?
a long time ago. Maybe tigers forget. They're not like elephants.
Well, hello, Vince.
Hello, Houston. What are you doing out here?
Well, some folks asked me to look into this.
Hello, Lieutenant Novelli.
Hi, buddy. Listen, son, we're going to ask you to come along with us.
Where?
Down to the station. We want to talk to you down there about Mr. Randolph and how he was killed.
But I told you already. What's the matter?
Gently.
Vince, what's going on here?
Buddy, I have to arrest you for the murder of Mr. Randolph.
Me?
Put him in the car and read him his rights.
I don't believe this.
I didn't do it. I wouldn't hurt nobody. Who's gonna water the animals?
For crying out loud, Vince, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, don't make me feel any worse than I already do.
The kid knows no more about murder than a hog knows about a buggy whip. Now, why don't you tell me what's going on?
Give me a better suspect. Nothing would make me happier.
I believe I'll do that.
By morning, we dug up the personal histories on Felix's ex-wives. The info on Ava, his last wife, was short and to the point. Felix had gone to Las Vegas on a toot and had tooted just a bit too much, waking up in a hotel room with a hangover and a new bride formerly fourth from the right on the chorus line.
Hello? Anybody home? No. That girl's hurting.
No. Listen.
Oh, Mr. Houston. Come on in. We'll continue later. I'm so glad you've come. I just heard the good news. They arrested the guilty man. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, it isn't wonderful, that poor, simple boy. But at least now we get to go ahead and collect our inheritances.
Well, I wouldn't get too excited about that just yet, because I'm not real satisfied that the poor, simple boy is guilty.
What? But... Not satisfied?
No.
I mean, the police are.
Police have the boy's head on a chopping block, but they haven't chopped it off yet. Now, you told me you wanted to talk to me at the office. Something about helping me solve this case?
Well, that was before Buddy was arrested. I thought I knew who did it. I thought it was Lauren. Lauren Calder, his first wife. She really hated him.
Is that right?
She was supposed to get some kind of a loan from him for something to do with her company, Crown Jaguar.
Crown Jaguar Cologne?
That's part of it. It's a whole cosmetics company. She started it after her divorce from Felix.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he used to wear this Crown Jaguar cologne all the time, right?
Of course. He only did it to drive us other wives crazy. He always played one against the other.
Oh, now, back to the loan. Did she get it?
Felix promised it to her, and then he didn't give it to her. He did things like that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
She went through the roof. She threatened him. He told me. And she's tough. I really think she'd... If any of us did it, it was her.
Well, that's interesting. That's real interesting. First, we got the poor, simple boy that did it. Then we got wife number one that did it. Now, why don't you let me ask you a question? Why didn't you do it? I'm sorry. That's right. I forgot. You're the one that loved him. Happy trails.
Are you making fun of me?
I don't do that to people.
Look, you didn't know Felix. He toyed with people. He played games with them. This whole thing with the will, it's just a cruel game to keep the money from us. This is just like him.
Well, you're the one that keeps insisting that you loved him.
He said he'd put me in the movies. He gave me singing lessons and dancing lessons and acting lessons, and then he laughed at me when I showed him what I could do. I'm glad he's dead. He deserved to die.
Did you kill him?
You're leaving. And don't you come back here. And don't you upset her ever again.
It's okay, John. Mr. Houston, this is John, my physical culturist and executive producer.
Executive producer.
Well, he'll be my executive producer when we make the film, after we get the money from the estate to make the film.
Well, it just goes to show you that talent will out, huh? Bye now. Yeah, CJ, just checking up on you. Listen, did you get Buddy bailed out of jail yet?
About 2 hours ago, we took him right back to the estate.
Tell him. Tell him. Tell him how much.
That's Murray saying hello.
$200,000 bail. What's that?
That's Murray sending his regards, Houston.
Oh, you straightened that hem. Good. That looks pretty. All right, thank you. You all look very nice. Tell Alfred we may do some stills today.
You will confine your meeting to the time Miss Calder allows.
You're very protective of your boss, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Why, Mr. Houston, perhaps you're just in time to give us a man's point of view.
Well, I believe they all ought to get a 10.
The perfume they're wearing. You have a nose for scents?
Well, I'm willing to learn.
Well, would you mind? Give us your opinion as to whether or not the fragrance fits the occasion. For instance, game time, our little beachwear girl over there, and on the end, the evening dress.
Well, I'm willing to give it a whirl. Game time, huh? You seem like the athletic type.
I'm a real good sport.
I'll bet you are. Something you knitted in your spare time? Tell me something. What happens when it hits water?
When you get it wet, it shrinks.
Evening. Oh, boy, what a nice way to end the day.
Perfume, Mr. Houston.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. It all seems to match up fine. I like it a lot.
Thank you. You report photography.
555-2200.
I understand you've been seeing an awful lot of your ex-husband lately. Something to do with money?
It's no secret. Larger companies been trying to take me over. I could have stopped them in their tracks if he'd co-signed a loan, but he strung me along and then pulled out at the last minute. Now I'm in a proxy fight and I'm in danger of losing my own company.
Well, I would imagine a company like this would take a lot of years of a person's life, huh?
It is my life, and Mr. Houston, make no mistake about it. I intend to keep it. I will do anything to keep it. Now, if anybody had a reason to kill Felix, I did. I married Felix when I was 16. Oh, he was no millionaire then. He was a butcher's helper. I collected the scraps and ground them into cat food, and I went out and peddled to the housewives, and I made the deals, and I built that fortune the same as he did.
And you needed a loan from him, right?
$20 million just till the end of the month. Instead, he'd let me sink and laughed at me all the while.
Well, now that he's dead, you'll inherit at least that much, won't you?
Houston, I built 2 fortunes. Do you really think I'd kill him to get out of a jam? No, I didn't kill him. But I dedicate a statue to the one who did.
Who might the statue look like?
Darling, can't you guess?
I see.
Mr. Houston was just leaving.
Oh, that's my favorite suit. Thank you.
Bart, something I want you to attend to.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would Buddy try to kill me when I put up his bail? I just can't believe it. I can't believe what he did.
Lieutenant, you gotta get out an APB. A 10-4, whatever you call it. You gotta get men out there, cops and cars.
Murray, we don't need to send out the Marines.
Oh, sure. Joke about it. But we put up the bail money. $200,000. That kid ran off with $200,000 of your money.
Murray, don't get ahead of yourself. Nobody runs off until they don't show up in court.
Every minute we're talking, that kid's running. Our money is getting further away. I can't make them understand.
Murray!
Our money...
Would you get me some coffee, please?
Sure.
No, not this kind. You know the kind I love. The kind I drink at the Oiler games.
You want me to go to Houston to buy you a cup of coffee?
Right.
You're kidding.
Right. Murray, I'm feeling kind of low.
Gotcha.
Houston, I appreciate you've got a big heart. But I told you were playing with fire when you bailed that kid out.
Vince, I can't see him in jail.
Well, where is he now? And Murray was right about one thing. I gotta put an all-points bulletin out on that kid.
Oh, come on now, Vince. That's getting a little dangerous. I mean, we're not dealing with Jack the Ripper here.
I know. Houston, he tried to kill you.
You can't put him in custody, Vince. The boy does not communicate very well. I'm afraid he's going to do the wrong thing.
I gotta put out an APB. I'll add a caution.
That kid had to know I was trying to help him.
He probably went back to the estate. From everything you've told me about him, he isn't very comfortable outside the world he knows.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's got to be an explanation for what he did. Now, what are the possibilities?
Somebody put him up to it.
Or he's trying to cover for somebody. Whatever it is, that's what we got to find out.
Obviously. Felix's third wife was the ultimate mating machine, the gold-digging, jet-setting, mind-boggling Zizi Tabori. It was a wild ride while it lasted. Today, she runs the Aphrodite Health Farm.
I know who you are. You're Matt Houston.
Right.
I know what this is about, and I don't want you upsetting her. It's about that filthy ex-husband of hers. If you want to lay that on someone, lay it on one of the other wives. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. Now, listen, I hate talking to myself.
Or you'll have to deal with me. Get it?
Clear.
I want to be sure we understand each other. I hate to get rough.
I just want to ask her a couple of questions, if it's all right with you.
She's in there.
Thanks.
Oh, remember what I said about getting rough?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to chance that.
Karate!
Hello, darling. All right, boys, stop it a moment. I was expecting you.
So I understand.
What can I do for you?
Well, just the obvious.
You think that I killed Felix and that I would profit from his death. Well, of course I would. I'm mortgaged to the hilt. If this goes on much longer, I will have to dismiss all these wonderful masseurs of mine. Don't worry, my darlings. I'd rather walk the street than let you go. But thank God, the simple boy done the job for me. By the way, do you know that the simple boy only takes orders from his mother?
You mean Buddy? I don't believe I met his mother.
Well, we really don't know who his mother is. He's an orphan. But the lady he calls his mother is Felix's third wife. We call her the Saint. You see, she had an orphanage years ago. And that's where the simple boy was raised. And that's where he learned how to treat wild animals. That's why he was on the estate.
Well, thank you, I think.
Everybody out? Now stay together, please.
Is there?
Mr. Houston, well, what brings you down here?
Well, I tried to get you at the house, and they told me I'd run into you out here. See, I'd kind of like to talk to you about Buddy.
Buddy?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's true, but you see, there's some people that say Buddy would kill for you. Is that right?
That's a terrible thing to say.
Well, I know that, but do you think he would?
I should have killed Felix. You know that? He's hurt everybody he's ever touched. He even wanted to pull the plug on the children's home. End it all. Just like that. Of course, he owned the land. And I don't have any other money. Not real money. Not what it would take.
Listen, did Buddy know that?
I guess so. When I go over to the house, he'd hear the screaming. Me begging Felix, him laughing, and me cursing him.
Listen, do you know where he is?
Buddy?
Yeah.
Well, the police asked that same question.
Listen, you gotta talk to me. I care an awful lot about Buddy, and I'm just trying to help him. Can you tell me where he is?
Well, there are only a couple of places he'd go. The estate, of course, with animals. And the home. And he used to come here to play miniature golf. But he doesn't have any friends. So he can play miniature golf alone.
Buddy! Hang on a minute, I want to talk to you. Buddy!
Sorry. they trying to kill, buddy? You or me?
I wouldn't hurt nobody, especially not Mr. Houston. I would never have crashed you. I promise. Just scare you off.
Why, buddy?
I know about Mr. Felix's will. You don't think so, but I know. How Mr. Houston was supposed to see if one of Mr. Felix's wives was a murderer.
Tell me something. Why would that make you want to scare me?
Because they told me on the phone.
Who told you?
I don't know, but they told me. You want to blame it on my mother.
Was it a man's voice?
A woman's voice.
I don't remember.
Buddy, this is a murder case. Are you aware of the fact that you are still under indictment and we are trying very hard to clear you?
Oh, it's all right. A jury won't convict me.
Buddy, do you know something we don't know? Why won't a jury convict you?
Because I didn't do it.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Oh, Pecorito, this isn't the pine forest. This is a piece of Italy. When you smell the cheese, you know. When you smell the oil, you know. The smell here is part of everything. Via con...
Mama, come here. Come here.
Hey, what's that for?
It's because I owe you one, Mama.
Oh, I love it. So owe me again?
How's that?
I'll tell you after you tip me again. Simpaticone.
You know, tips like that can starve a girl.
Hey! You got your diet, I got mine. Victor?
Listen, Vince, I think I got it. I think I've got it. It's been haunting me all the time. Tell me something. How do you train a house pet, whether it's a tiger or not, to be a killer?
That's easy. The 3 S's.
Right. Sight, sound, and smell. Go on, buddy. Tell him.
If you beat a dog, he's gonna hate you on sight. If you blow a whistle, every time you take his food away, he's gonna hate that sound.
And the 3rd S is smell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you can train an animal by a certain smell. Ah.
Now, you remember the coroner's report? The strong smell of cologne. Now, buddy, this is the bottle of Crown Jaguar cologne that we took off Felix's dressing table.
Yes.
And this is the stuff that he wore all the time, all day long, every day.
He always wore it.
He wore this stuff when he used to pet and feed the tiger, right?
He always wore the same thing.
All right, let's try something, buddy. Follow that on there. CJ. Now, that is the bottle that we found on Felix's body the morning he was killed. That's the bottle. Advance. Oh, look at that. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Now, that bottle has been tampered with, and I think it's going to tell us who killed Felix. CJ, I want you to get on the horn, call the 4 ex-wives, and get them out here as soon as possible.
Get them here voluntarily? You gonna sell tickets?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I reckon you all know why you're here.
Here comes the Charlie Chan scene.
Charlie who?
Yeah, well, it is sort of like that. You see, I figure in order to catch the killer, I got to get all my suspects right here in one spot.
Marvelous, darling. You expect one of us just to jump up and confess?
Well, not exactly like that, no.
Well, I can hardly wait to see how you're going to do this.
Me too. Now, let's talk about some facts here, folks. Now, all of you had a very good reason for wanting Felix dead. You built up his business in a day and age where the little woman was supposed to stay at home and give him all the credit, not to mention all the money. And when you went to him for a loan, small loan of $20 million to keep your new business afloat, he just kind of smiled and walked away.
Man was right in character.
Yeah, yes, he was. And you needed a loan to save your school and the orphans. And just for fun, he said no.
He was a real sweetheart.
Yes, he was. You two, you're mortgaged to the hilt. Huh. Now, you have an alternative lifestyle, and you just want to be a star and cut a new record.
I'm 22, for crying out loud. I don't have a lot of time left.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But anyway, folks, that's it. All the motives are right here. Now, you all had very good access to this place.
Access for what reason?
To fix it so the tiger could kill Felix.
Listen, darling, you beautiful thing. Did it ever occur to your police genius that maybe it was an accident? Maybe the gate was left open. And maybe it was that simple boy.
No!
Oh, well, I don't think so. See, I believe it was murder.
Oh, my God, that's Pasha! Don't run. Move away slowly. He'll attack.
How did it get loose? I don't see why guys are so afraid of Pasha. It's just a great big pussycat.
Past tense, darling. Have you forgotten that Pasha ate Felix for breakfast a few days ago?
Wonderful for him.
ZZ, maybe you could tell me something. Have you ever heard of the phrase programmed to kill?
Programmed? What are you talking about?
Well, I tell you, it's called teaching an old tiger new tricks, and I believe that was your job, wasn't it, Richard?
Job?
Well, you see, while ZZ was keeping Felix busy up there in the house, you were training that tiger to hate your special brew perfume. Hated enough to kill anybody that was wearing it.
Darling, beautiful thing. You have no proof.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if I just gave you a little spritz of Felix's cologne, huh? Well, I think that about does it. Buddy, come on out of there, buddy.
Why didn't Pasha kill me?
Well, I'll tell you, that's because this isn't really the death bottle. It's down at police headquarters where it belongs. This is just an ordinary bottle right off the shelf.
Stupid me. And you even more stupid.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, you got it, gentlemen. It's all yours.
Karate!
Come here.
Oh!
Look, this is pointless. I don't want to hurt you at all right? Vince, come on now. Let's get this thing over with, okay?
Didn't you call him?
He's supposed to be here right now. Vince! Vince!
Karate!
Tiger.
The old point to the tiger trick, huh?
Works every time.
But, Mr. Houston, all this should be receipted. I will get the names and addresses and issue checks.
Murray, checks take forever. You see, the people who sell popcorn and handle the boat rides in this world all have bills to pay right now. Just pay them what I owe them from yesterday.
If you insist.
Yes, I do. I insist. Now, also, you tell them that the orphan kids have got a free running tab at their places until this runs out. And when it does, tell them they can come back for more.
Sir, these are $100 bills.
Right. Good night, Murray.
Good night, sir.
Cheers. You know what's so terrific about working with you, Houston?
What's that?
Everything. Just think what you've accomplished in the last couple of days. Buddy and Pasha have both been reprieved from their death sentences.
Yeah, not to mention the ex-wives got all her money.
And St. Audrey got that palatial estate, which is a perfect place for her to expand her orphan home facilities.
Don't forget about Lauren. She's a cinch to win her proxy fight.
And if the cover Variety is correct, little Ava's about to make her very own movie.
Oh, boy. Let's not forget Zizi. I think it's going to be an awful long time before she gets another massage.
I suspect you're right. Now, if you and Vince Novelli can only synchronize your watches when it comes to trapping a killer.
Oh, either that or just always have Tiger with us, huh? Or maybe not.
Better cock your pistols.
CJ, how do I look?
Houston, for the 47th time, you look wonderful.
Are you sure?
Houston, I realize that you haven't seen her since you were 13 and you want to make a good impression.
Well, I want to make a great impression, CJ. I mean, that's why it's so important that it'll look good.
Well, Murray thinks you look great. The secretaries think you look great. The parking attendant that you asked thinks you look great. Trust me when I tell you, she'll think you look great.
Are you sure?
CJ, do you think I'm going to be all right on the boat and all?
Houston, you're the one who's been saying that seasickness is a question of mind over matter.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking about that boat. I'm rocking back and forth in the hot sun.
Houston, the boat's going to be docked. You won't feel any motion at all inside the marina. Come on.
You know, CJ, it's just, see, I haven't seen Honey in a whole bunch of years, and I'd hate to do anything to embarrass her. Well, CJ, listen, take a look at this. What do you think?
I hope you have a wonderful time. Just go on up, get a drink, and make yourself at home.
Thank you, dear.
Boy.
Wholesome wench. Would share a tot of rum with a weary corsair.
Oh, no, thank you, Binky. I'm working, remember.
Oh, for God's sake, honey, don't be so boringly conscientious.
Well, it's very important to me that this party goes well.
How could it not? You're the best manager the club's ever had.
Thank you, Binky. But I'm afraid not everyone shares your opinion.
Rawson, Harmon, the four. Huh.
If he has his way, someone else will be sitting in my office.
Now, honey, there are others of us on the board. Don't you worry about him. Well, Richard, I'm surprised to see you made it.
Believe me, I wouldn't have missed this one for anything.
Dickie, darling, is he a producer too?
No, baby. Binky here spends money. I make it. Binky, I want you to meet the next Bo Derricks, Andrea and Dorian.
Charmed, I'm sure.
They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed. Growl for the man, Andrea.
Growl.
I love talent.
I'll tell you, if I was back home and it was a hot day, I'd tell you what I'd go for, and that's a big, tall glass.
Of your mother's own ice-cold buttermilk. Houston! Houston, look at you, all grown up. Oh, honey, if I'd known you're going to turn out like this, I'd spend a lot more time with you.
Certainly would have filled an awful lot of lonely 13-year-old nights. Listen, this is C.J. Parsons.
Lewis,
Hi, CJ.
time to get this thing started.
Right away, Mr. Harmon.
This is a private party, mister. Members only.
This is Matt Houston, the detective I told you I was going to call.
The hired help usually goes to the business office. See that you do in the future.
I'm sorry, Houston.
No need to apologize for other people's rudeness, honey. Tell me something. You mean you looked me up after all these years just because you needed a detective?
Lewis!
I'm sorry. Here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could get your attention, please. We're gathered here today to honor the newly elected Commodore of the Southland Yacht Club.
Thank
This is either somebody's idea of a very bad joke or Honey's in real trouble.
I shall accept this honor.
Guilty, 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 the avenging angels say. With justice swift like a serpent's fang, the first will die on a sunny day. Wonderful.
And to present him with his official Commodore's coat.
Does it bother you that it's a sunny day today?
Knock yourself one deadly snake with the gaboon viper. According to experts, still had enough poison to take out a few more people.
Vince, where did it come from?
Africa, originally. More recently, the zoo. Stolen just before dawn this morning.
Whoever it was didn't leave much time to tuck the snake in the Commodore's coat.
This time there's a crazy need. I got a feeling that whoever wrote that Looney Tune letter would manage to make time. Houston, are you all right?
It's your swaying back and forth, Vince.
I'm not swaying.
Mr. Houston.
Yeah?
Mrs. Lewis, the club manager, she'd like to see you inside. Hey, you feeling okay?
Well, it's nothing that planting my feet on a little terra firma won't take care of.
Hey, Houston, ask her to stick around. I'm gonna need to talk to her when I'm finished here.
All right.
I hear the snake that offed old Harmon was from Africa.
That's right.
Far out.
You find African snakes amusing?
Well, I guess you'd say, just righteously just. Heck, I could tell you. You're just a PI, another working stiff. The dead guy, Rawson Harmon IV, he was a bourgeois pig. The fact is, most members around here are...
Yeah, listen, that's all very interesting, but I'll tell you, as one member of the oppressed proletariat to another, what the hell's it got to do with an African snake?
Well, that's where he made most of his money, Africa. Made a fortune in diamond mines. Squeezing out of the sweat and lives of the oppressed workers. That's why I smiled. I mean, it just seems a little ironic after all those years of grinding people into the ground in Africa. Somebody from the ground in Africa killed him. We'll find Mrs. Lewis inside.
Do you get the impression he's been to one too many radical campus meetings?
Mm-hmm. Well, what bothers me is how do you know about the African snake? We didn't even know about that till Novelli told us.
No, Novelli didn't know about it till the zoo people told him.
Yeah, and that kid wasn't close enough to either the zoo people or Novelli to have heard anything about it. Honey?
Houston, would you like something to drink?
Not for me, thank you.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a busy day, but I would like to sit down.
Okay. Would you like some coffee?
Well, that'd be good.
Gary, 3 coffees, please. When I first called you was when I received that threatening note. I thought you could help.
Well, I'll tell you, the death of Rawson Harmon IV is now a police matter, unless I had a client, which I don't.
You do have a client. That is, if you'll take me. You see, Houston, I'm afraid the police are going to think I killed Harmon. We weren't exactly good friends.
Well, not getting along isn't exactly a classic motive for murder.
He was going to fire me. It wasn't a secret. The whole club knew. And if that wasn't good enough, you know the Commodore's jacket he was given today? It was kept in my office until this morning.
Any idea who might have put that snake in the jacket?
No, but you've got to see it's not going to look good for me when the police find out we didn't get along.
Honey, have you got any idea of who had access to your office between dawn and the time you got the jacket?
Binky Brabworth. He's the treasurer of the club, also publishes the club paper. He'd have a key to my office.
Anyone else?
I don't know. You know, this morning I came in early, and I thought I saw one of our club members leaving by the side door. But when I got inside, my office door was open, and I'm sure I locked it last night.
Well, which member?
I can't be certain, but I think it was Richard Bevac.
Dickie Bevac, the sleazo movie producer?
The membership committee of this club doesn't care where your money comes from, as long as you have plenty of it. Houston, what am I gonna do?
Well, I think you're gonna have to sit tight and answer all the questions that the police ask you, and we'll see what we can come up with, all right?
Thank you.
I can't tell you what a long time I've waited for that. I'll talk to you soon, huh?
Houston figured if we were going to help Honey, we better do some homework on some yacht club members. It ate up most of the rest of the day, and when we were through, we fed the results to Baby. Now here we have the late and not too lamented Rawson Harmon IV. In fact, last week he was elected Commodore of the club in a very close election.
One more. Thank you.
You see, CJ, if the man was that ornery, why do you suppose the club members voted him in as Commodore?
Well, he's a very powerful man who uses his influence to get what he wants. Which brings us to the point that he was the one who flew Honey out here about 6 months ago.
Yeah, it bothers me, CJ. I mean, he went to all the trouble to bring her out here, and then why did he suddenly decide to fire?
I'll remind you to ask her. Richard Dickey Bevac.
That's the man that Honey said she saw leaving the club this morning.
You got it. Very successful producer. Exploitation films, low budget, high profits, and responsible for such winners as Killer Babies, Gnaw, and Cannibals from Planet Zero.
Gnaw. Like in Gnaw?
Gnaw.
Oh, come on, CJ, you're pulling my leg.
No. In fact, Cannibals from Planet Zero wasn't bad.
CJ, you have a very dark side that I don't believe I've ever seen before.
True. I'm saving it up for you. Now, Richard Bevac has always wanted to be Commodore of the club, and every year when someone puts him up for election, Harmon blackballs him. Now that Harmon's been elected, Bevac's out in the cold again.
You suppose being passed over as Commodore would be a motive for murder?
Well, not for most minds, but this is a mind that's come up with such classics as Killer Babies and Gnaw and...
A big Cannibal from Planet Zero with a zapping and...
You got it.
Yeah, who's next?
Carlton Binky Brabworth. His great-grandfather invented the thumbtack.
I always wondered who did that.
As you know, he also is responsible for publishing the Yacht Club newsletter.
Yeah, that's where you got all these pictures.
Your powers of deductive reasoning are brilliant, Houston.
DJ, we were talking about Mr. Brabworth.
Yes, we were. Now, he's not as rich as he would like you to believe. In fact, he gets his money from a trust fund that comes from municipal bonds, and he spends it faster than he can clip the coupons. He is also everyone's favorite gambler at any game.
You mean he loses?
Constantly. As a matter of fact, his biggest debt is Rawson Harmon.
Yeah, how big?
Texas big.
I think we better start with Mr. Brabworth.
Why him?
Well, I'll tell you something, CJ. It's because well, I've never met a man named Binky before.
Binky, I want you to meet the next Bo Derricks, Lucy and Kenya. They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed.
How nice.
You take the tiller, you hoist the mainsail.
Brabworth, I'm Matt Houston.
Oh, Mr. Houston, it's a pleasure. Yeah, Honey mentioned you might be around. Won't you sit down?
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry about all this litter. Municipal bonds. See, I have to clip off these coupons every 3 months and take them down to Chase Manhattan and cash them.
Well, it's a lousy job, but somebody's got to do it, huh?
And then there's all this preparation for the shipwreck party.
Well, listen, Mr. Brabworth.
Binky.
Binky.
I hope you'll excuse me, but I have to finish clipping these things. If I don't do it...
Yeah, I know, it just won't get done. No, you go right ahead. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about Rawson Harmon IV.
A boor. Took himself much too seriously.
Yeah, well, what exactly was your relationship with him?
Adversary. He voted against me in every board meeting.
Well, what about outside the boardroom?
Well, we really didn't have that much in common.
Played cards with him?
Yes.
Lost?
Sometimes.
Often?
I'm not a very good card player.
Yeah, well, you owed him quite a bit of money, didn't you?
Nothing I couldn't repay, Houston.
Yeah, well, maybe you just couldn't repay it as quick as he wanted you to, huh?
Mr. Houston, yes, I had a motive. Anyone who knew Harmon had a motive. He wasn't a very pleasant man. Houston, have you spoken with Jeb, a particularly interesting person? Jeb. He loves his mother a lot. Very protective of her. Obsessed, almost.
I love my mother a lot, too.
Your mother isn't Honey Lewis.
Confirms the merger for the electronics firm. And here are the papers for the new clothing firm.
Right? Looks like we've got our first customer. Houston, what happened to you?
Somebody tried to set fire out at the yacht club.
What?
With a flare. See, CJ, you had to be there. Listen, I want you to get Honey on the phone for me right away.
I'll do better than that. She's right here.
I want to talk to you, Honey, about your son, Jeb.
Oh, Houston, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you about Jeb because I didn't want to involve him. He has nothing to do with this.
Honey, it seems to me like there's an awful lot that you're not telling me about, like the fact that Rawson Harmon was the one who brought you out here to California in the first place.
I didn't think it was important.
Honey, rumor has it that I'm the detective around here, so why don't you let me decide what's important and what's not, all right? Is that a deal?
Deal.
Good. Now let's talk about Jeb.
I was married, secretly, when I was in college back in Texas. When Jeb was born, his father disappeared. I never saw him again. And that's when I moved to New York.
Now, that brings us to Rawson Harmon, the dead man. Honey, what exactly was your relationship with him?
Oh, it isn't what you're thinking. Yes, we had an affair, but that was a long time ago. And we've remained good friends ever since.
Is that why you got the job at the yacht club?
Yes, when the job opened up, he called me. And he asked me if I would come out and help manage the club.
And just 6 months later, he decided to fire you. Now, what is going on?
Look, Houston, I take my job very seriously. Maybe he didn't count on that. He was used to running things. But the members started to turn to me. He could not stand not being the center of attention. He was jealous.
How'd you get along with your son?
Can't we leave Jeb out of this?
No, we cannot leave Jeb out of this. Now, somebody took a shot at me at the yacht club.
But, Houston, you don't think that... Listen, Jeb is a good son. He's a good boy.
Honey, is there any way? I mean, did he know Harmon was going to fire you?
Oh, yes. But... Look, Houston, maybe I was wrong about this. It was a mistake to get you involved.
Damn it, honey, I am involved in this. Now, somebody is trying to kill me, and I am not going to back off this case till I find out who it is.
You know, you always were stubborn as hell.
That's right, and you always were...
Sweet as honey.
Yeah. Yeah, you were. got a minute to talk to another oppressed member of the working class?
Yeah, sure. Come on aboard.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about Harmon.
That bourgeois pig?
Yeah, well, you'd mentioned that.
Working people everywhere can breathe a sigh of relief now that he's history.
You were working people like your mother?
My mother? What does she have to do with this?
Well, you knew Harmon was going to fire her, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. And it was so typical. I mean, she's the best, man. The best at everything. Before she took over as manager of the club, it was nothing but a capitalist garbage heap. And as soon as she got things running right, that pig wanted to dump her.
Well, I know how much the job meant to your mother, and I know you care an awful lot about her, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Wait a minute. You're not trying to say I off Tom. Forget it.
Got any idea who might have?
Harmon wasn't what you'd call Mr. Sunshine. A lot of folks hated that creep.
Who hated him the most?
No contest. Mr. Hollyweird himself, Dickie Bevac.
Yeah, because Harmon kept bumping Bevac for Commodore, huh?
Wake up, man. Capitalist power brokers only kill one another for one reason. Cold, hard cash. I heard the two of them arguing in the bar. Harmon was gonna call in all his loans to Bevac's movie company.
Yeah, and Bevac was none too happy about it, right?
Offered to make him the victim in his next slasher movie. Tell me something, man. I found out a little bit about you. Big Texas millionaire. How many millions of dollars have you wrung from the sweating backs of the working man?
Hopefully none. See, I try and treat everybody fairly.
How? By hoarding millions of dollars that really belong to the people?
No, you see, by treating them all like human beings. I don't prejudge them or pre-label them. You really ought to try it sometime.
Hey, Houston, are you hungry? I'm really hungry. Why don't you stay for lunch? I got some sardines here.
No, thanks. I'll take a rate check.
I got some beans, too. I could heat them up in the galley.
No, thanks. I better be running along.
Oh, come on, Houston. Why don't you stay for lunch?
No, das vidanya, comrade.
Hello there. Hi.
Hi. Sorry I dropped in on you like this.
Anytime.
Yeah, but I probably ought to be going.
Hi, what's your hurry? Yeah, why don't you stick around? Maybe you can rub some lotion on our backs. And fronts.
Fronts. I could probably do that, yeah. Yeah, listen, I gotta run.
Almost getting killed tends to make Houston a mite irritable. He figured it was time to meet the producer, Richard Bevac. When we couldn't get an appointment, Houston decided we should make one for ourselves. The only thing I could find out about Bivac was that he was off making a movie somewhere on those 5 acres he calls his backyard.
I wonder what he's gonna call this. Onslaught of the Goons?
Yeah.
Can we help you? Your name, please?
This is Miss Pleasure Fox. She's gonna be in Mr. Bivac's next picture.
The Space Vixen.
That's right. My name's Guy Amarillo. I'm Miss Pleasure Fox's personal manager. We have an appointment with Dickie.
What's wrong, Andy? Guy says he's Amarillo Slim or someone. Lady says she's Pleasure Fox in your next movie?
Pleasure Fox. Yeah, this is a little foolish to go on with it. My name's Matt Houston. This is C.J. Parsons, my associate.
Mr. Houston, I've heard about you, but nobody told me about the lady.
Let them in, Andy. I like creative gate crashers and beautiful women.
Thank you, Mr. Bivac.
You're Houston's associate?
Yes, I am.
You're really not an actress.
No, no.
All this beauty going to waste in some crummy detective agency.
It's not really crummy. It's kind of nice. Actually, it's well lit.
Well, we'll have to fix that.
Well, no, it's got a great view. You can see the whole town.
How about a screen test?
A screen test?
Excuse me, please. Before you make my associate a superstar here, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Is this all he does? Ask people questions?
Well, it is something he likes to do. Humor him.
Coffee?
I'd love some.
No, thank you.
I'm just fine.
Okay, Houston, for her. But make it short. I've got a meeting with my bankers.
Running a little low on cash, are we?
Not a chance. My last 10 pictures made a fortune. I've got development deals going all over town.
Oh, that's funny. That's not what I heard.
What did you hear?
Well, I heard that your last 10 pictures lost money. They didn't make money at all. And Ross and Harmon's your banker, and if he calls in his loans, you're gonna make him the next victim in your slasher movie.
That's a lie. I'm telling you, my financial standings are as solid as a rock.
Are they? Well, you see, because I've been asking a lot of questions in all the financial circles around town, you see, and the word is that you're up to your eyeballs in debt, and that there's not a major studio in town that'll let you on the lot, let alone do business with you.
You're a nosy man, Houston. You should know by now, being nosy can be very dangerous. The interview, if you haven't guessed, is over.
Man's got a temper.
Sure does. By the way, when did you have time to ask questions in all the right financial circles?
No, I didn't really have time, and I won't until I get a chance to call Murray, but I don't think we need to after seeing Mr. Bivac's reaction here. I know, fellas, it's time to go. Screen test, huh? Working late, ladies?
Houston, I need you, John Henry.
Well, I'll even give him a John Hancock. I'm in a great mood. Got good news.
That's good, because I've got bad.
Well, hopefully the two will balance each other out. Shoot, CJ.
Houston, I checked out those Texas files like you asked, and Honey lied to you. She was never married. But Jeb's birth certificate tells who the real father is. It's the dead man, Ross and Harmon IV.
Oh, God. CJ, if Jeb found out about that, or if he saw Harmon treating his mother the way he...
Or if Jeb didn't know, and Honey was afraid that Harmon was going to tell him.
Two good motives for murder.
Well, what was the good news?
The good news is that our suspicions were right. Bivac is on the brink of bankruptcy.
Well, that's 3 motives, not to mention your poker-playing, coupon-clipping bingy. That's 4 motives.
Just when I thought it was getting simple, CJ. Houston. Honey, just stay there, all right? I'll be there in 20 minutes. Honey just got another threatening letter. First of the guilty has already died in the most unpleasant way, but Harmon was lucky compared to the victim who'll go on shipwreck day.
The shipwreck party's tomorrow. Houston, whoever's writing these notes and killing people has to be insane.
And maybe that's just what he or she wants us to believe. I mean, come on, think about it. These death threats, they sound like they're from one of those cheap mystery thrillers, you know, the kind you used to read.
Are you accusing me?
It's just a thought, honey. I'm thinking out loud. And I know you're gonna love my next thought.
Houston, you don't think that Jeb...
What am I supposed to think? He's the only one I know who could kill at random. I mean, the boy's got a chip on his shoulder. He's always going around singing the oppressed bourgeois pigs and all of that.
Houston, Jeb had nothing to do with this murder. You've got to believe me. He's my son. I know.
Jesse James had a mother, too.
Houston, I'm warning you. Leave Jeb out of this. As a matter of fact, you can drop the whole case. You're fired, Houston. And you can leave now.
I'm not going anywhere, honey, till I find myself a killer.
Don't follow me, because I got a court order to search the killer's locker. This one, Cal. When you open this locker, we'll find our killer.
Be a pretty small fella, man.
Houston, don't be funny. That's Jeb's locker.
We found a partial fingerprint on a button inside the Commodore's coat that Harmon put on. You want to bet that's the typewriter that typed the death threat?
Well, anyone could have planted it there. It doesn't mean anything.
I killed him, and I'm proud of it. I'd kill him again. Nothing but a leech, sucking the lifeblood out of society.
Houston, Jeb didn't kill anybody. I killed Harmon.
Don't listen to her. I killed him, Houston.
Listen to me. I killed him.
You know, most of the time I have enough trouble finding one killer.
Yeah, now you got two, Vince.
Well, obviously, they both confessed to protect the other.
Come on, the kid is the killer. The stuff we found in his locker, the fingerprints, his radical political views, it all points to him. You have doubts?
I have doubts, Vince. I mean, it does not make sense. Think about it. I mean, it's not clean. It stinks, Vince, and it's not Mama's cooking.
Come. What's this about my cooking?
No, Mama. Houston was just saying how hungry he is.
Ah, good, because dinner is ready.
Boy, I can't wait.
This is for you, CJ.
Oh, thank you, Mama.
It smells
E
good.
per voi.
Oh, that...
Ecco.
Mama, this looks like birdseed.
It is birdseed. What do you expect? The two of you come in here, you order a big meal, and then you talk about crime, murder, mayday. Ma fatemi piacere.
Mama, it's mayhem, Mama. Mayhem. Murder and mayhem.
It sure is. It's gab. You never eat. You just peck at your plates like birds. So the two of you want to eat like birds? Avanti. This is your chance.
Mama, please, this is embarrassing. Could you please bring us some pasta?
If I do, will you eat the whole thing? You swear on the saints?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cross my heart.
CJ, sentito, you're a witness, eh?
I swear, Mom.
Okay, figlio mio. I'll prepare you a dinner. Lasciate fare a me.
Well, anyhow, now that Jeb and Honey are in jail, we don't have to worry about the murder threat tomorrow, huh?
No, Vince, you're still not listening to me. I mean, it does not make sense. It's still too neat. I mean, I would swear on a stack of Bibles that I swear.
Houston, what is it?
Oh, wait a minute. Now, Mama said to Vince that she wanted him to swear on the saints, right? Vince, do you remember the first part of the first death threat?
Guilty, 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 the avenging angel
That's
sang.
it. You don't have to go any further. Now, if I am not mistaken, angel is the key word to this whole thing. Now, you still think it points in Jeb's direction, right?
Right.
I think we can safely assume that Honey would not frame her son for murder, right?
Sure. What's your point?
The point, Vince, is that Jeb could not be the killer. I mean, he fancies himself as one of those dyed-in-the-wool communists. Now, I will tell you something about communists. They feel very strongly about things that they believe in and things that they don't. What they don't believe in is God, saints.
Angels.
In other words, he would have never used that word.
In other words, the man we have in jail is not the killer, and if we don't find him...
He's gonna kill again tomorrow.
Talent, Freddie. We're in show business, too. Meet the next Bo Derricks, Ty and Tanika. They're going to be starring in my new picture, Savage Women Unleashed. Well, this is Sam Spade. How's it going, Gumshoe?
Well, just dandy.
This party is by invitation only, and I hope you don't have one, because I'd love to kick you out of here, too.
Temper, Dickie. I do have an invitation. Binky's holding on to it for me. You haven't seen him around anywhere, would you?
Yeah, I saw him just a moment ago. He's in the trophy room. It's at the end of the hall.
Hey, sir. Ladies.
Well, if I had another girl, I could be a juggler, too.
Houston, you know, if you were a club member, we would fine you for showing up at a theme party without a costume.
Why'd you kill Harmon, Binky? Because of the money you owed him?
Oh, don't be tedious, Houston. It's true I had a cash flow problem, but well, that's nothing one with proper breeding kills over.
Well, I'll tell you, I went to the Central Library, Binky. I got a microfilm of all your old newspapers. Yeah, all those old newspapers you used to handwrite and send out by the thousands to your mailing list. Yeah, it was something else. I had to go back several years. I spent a couple of hours in front of my computer before I found it.
Found what?
That the type matched. It matched your old newspapers. It matched the death threat notes. It matched the typewriter that you planted in Jeb's locker.
He was going to ruin me. First, he cheated me at cards. And then when I couldn't pay, he was going to have his bullies work me over.
Don't you put that away. I called Novelli and his boys. They're going to be here any minute. Don't do anything foolish, all right?
Foolish? There's nothing foolish about killing someone. I've had to do it once already to save my skin. And now, I am sorry, old fellow. I really sort of liked you. Let's go.
Not now!
Hi, Pinky! It's party time!
Hi, Gordy. Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Oh, I love yours, too. Drink? Hi, Jinx. Hi, Fuzzy. Hi. Judy.
Hey, Pinky, don't forget to take our picture.
Going out to get my camera right now.
Oh, Are you having a good time?
Excuse me, Cordy. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. Trixie, Tootie, Buzzy, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
I beg your pardon.
Get back!
Hey, Houston, are you all right?
Next time you rescue me, Vance, just don't sway so much, would you?
Mama, it's perfect.
I'm sure it's perfect. I did it.
Oh, thanks.
Why?
For doing it.
I know that. But why did I do it?
It's a surprise.
For who?
For Houston, he's in love.
He's in love with you? Brava!
Oh, no, Mama. He's in love with another girl. See, at 13.
13? She's 13. He should be ashamed of himself.
No, Mama. She's not 13. He was 13.
He's 13. And she made love to him? She should be ashamed of herself, robbing the cradle.
No, Mama, she didn't make love to him. When he was 13, he fell in love with her, but she wasn't in love with him. You see, but he always wanted to go out with her, so I thought I would surprise him by fulfilling his fantasy about her.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Well, Mama, CJ, what's going on?
So, when are you getting married?
Married?
He's not getting married, Mama.
I'm not?
No.
See? How are you going to have kids if you don't get married?
Good, why? Yeah, how am I going to do that?
I don't know.
You have a little girl. Will you name her after me?
Well, Mama's an odd name for a little child.
No, Mama. Rosa. It's such a cute name for a baby. Rosa Houston.
And it doesn't sound right.
No.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you should change your last name.
Yeah, what's going on?
Never mind. Don't ask questions. Just trust me. I had a little brainstorm about something.
Houston.
Oh, honey, what are you doing here?
Having dinner with you.
I am?
You're not.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't have a chance.
You don't want to have dinner with me.
Wait, no. I mean, yes, I do. It's just I don't understand.
I don't either, Matt Houston. You see, CJ told me that you wanted to fulfill a fantasy.
You did that?
Yeah. No, I wanted to fulfill your fantasy.
Oh, you want to fulfill his fantasy.
Not I, me. Me through you.
Ah, the lucky lady. So, when is the wedding?
better cock your pistols.
Must be an extra special VIP list for Houston to throw a party at such short notice.
His invitation list looks like a who's who of international dollardom. Oh, here comes someone now. Ah, how very nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm Murray Chase, Mr. Houston's vice president in charge of various things. And you're... Please, don't tell me. Mr. Houston sent me a telegram with all of your names on it. Oh, what did I do with that telegram? General, I think?
Malcolm Abercrombie, and this is my wife, Celeste.
Lady Celeste. I'm Murray Chase.
Yes, so you said.
Derwin Dunlop. Yes, indeed. The Derwin Dunlop. The genius who invented the Exodus home computer.
I'm very anxious to meet with the great Mr. Houston and to do business with him.
Oh, yes, indeed. It isn't often one gets a personal invitation in the form of a telegram to get in on the ground floor of a multi-million-dollar Houston Industries ploy.
Well, right this way, please. Thank you. Oh, just make yourselves comfortable and I will join you in just a moment. Girls, thank you very much. I really appreciate you doing this.
A Sunday afternoon, you're lucky to find us in.
Well, it's like I said, I didn't even know about it myself until this morning. But, you know, I can't figure out still why Houston didn't phone me. I mean, why did he send me a telegram instead?
CJ, you know, I still can't figure out why Murray sent me a telegram. I mean, instead of calling me on the phone, you know how he loves to talk on the phone.
Well, Houston, you know how Murray is. He probably got overly excited when he got a call from the aide to the Vice President of the United States asking to have drinks in your office.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I feel like a penguin in this get-up.
I wouldn't know, Houston. I've never dated a penguin.
Yeah. Well, CJ, listen, would you remind me to get away from the Vice President as soon as possible? I got something real important to do tonight.
Houston, what could be more important than being the keynote speaker at a banquet honoring the Vice President of the United States?
I'll tell you something. I promised little Tony Novelli I'd be at his first communion party tonight, and that's very important. See, he's my buddy.
Your Royal High. What does one call a Maharaja?
I'd call him sexy.
Yeah, I had Mr. Houston's guest list, and I know there was one Maharaja's name, but
Maharaja of Ranjipur. It is an honorary title only. I prefer being called Mo. It's short for my given name, Mohandas. I would introduce the lovely lady, but I'm afraid all we have in common is one short elevator ride.
I'm Clover McKenna.
Certainly are. Wow. Jet set everything. Pilot, skydiver, Grand Prix champion. You even had an article in People magazine last week.
Well, I guess that high-priced PR man of mine's been doing his job.
Well, if you will follow me, I would be glad to introduce you to the rest of our guests. No, thank you, of course. And you all know Derwin Dunlop? And of course, Clover McKenna.
By reputation only. Is that a compliment or an insult, Lady Celeste? Make of it what you will. Had I known that you were going to be here.
That will be Mr. Houston. you got here.
What, the party start without me?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it a party, but your guests are here.
My guess. Murray, I did... Murray, what the hell's going on here?
The business meeting you told me to set up.
What business meeting, Murray? The telegram you sent me told me to be here to meet the vice president.
Vice president? Houston, I don't know what you're talking about. This is your party.
Murray, read my lips. I did not set up any party.
Then why did you send me a telegram this morning telling me to meet and greet these guests of yours?
You got a telegram, too?
Yeah, it's inside. I don't understand.
I don't either. But I think we better go inside and take a look at that telegram. Well, Clover, I mean, what a surprise. Would you look at you?
Oh, Houston. It's been a long time.
Well, it has been a long time, yes. Well, I've got a problem, Clover. I'd say I'm just wondering why you and all these other people are here.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, you invited us.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Listen, why don't we go meet some people, all right? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Matt Houston.
Derwin Dunlop.
Derwin Dunlop. It's a pleasure, sir. And you're Maharaja Franju. Nice to meet you. And Malcolm Abercrombie. My wife Celeste. It's quite a pleasure.
Houston, here's the telegram.
Well, according to this, folks, I did invite you all here, but there's just one small problem, see? I didn't send this telegram.
Well, here's the telegram you sent me.
Sunday, 6 p.m., an invitation to a formal dinner to form a multi-million-dollar business combine. It's guaranteed to triple its investment in 6 weeks. And it's signed Matt Houston.
A duplicate of the cablegram I received.
And I.
Well, it is obvious that we have all been duped.
Is someone playing a joke?
If they are, I may know the reason why. But you're not going to like it.
Well, give it your best shot, Maharaj.
Aside from your two business associates, Miss C.J. Parsons and Mr. Murray Chase, we all do have something in common. We...
You all right?
Oh!
C.J., call the paramedics, pronto. Let's get him over to the couch, all right?
Okay.
Houston, all the phones are out of order.
CJ, try the chopper radio. Now, let's get in here. Let's put some pressure on this, would you?
You got it.
Buddy, stay put. CJ, are you all right?
I'll let you know when my heart starts pumping again.
Yeah, what happened?
I reached for the door and something just blew.
It's a nifty little gadget. That's what made it blow. Now, whoever planted that certainly knew what he was doing.
Houston, the elevator doors won't open.
Well, Murray, you got to use the emergency stairs. Walk down.
I tried. The emergency exit's been sealed off from the outside. That door won't budge.
Murray, are you saying that we are stuck in this skyscraper with no way out?
No, that's what I'm trying not to say. But you said it for me.
Houston, this whole thing is getting very spooky. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. Well, you can forget about the radio.
Will the chopper fly?
Not even if Superman strapped it on his back. I'll tell you, we've got no phone, no radio, no helicopter. We got no elevator and no stairs. What we've got is a bomb and a poison dart. It's just not my idea of a fun party.
Oh, this is for you. Hey, Paul, Lamar, pull up some pizza and have some fun.
And I'm Bo.
Well, whatever. Oh, Pulverino, what's going to happen?
One of these days, he's going to learn to stay on his horse.
Oh. Come on in and celebrate my Tony's first reunion. Gino, porta the Spanish Yankee for Mr. Bo and Mr. Lamar. By the way, where's Houston, CJ?
Houston and CJ gonna be a mite late, Mom.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to stop by the office for another shindig first, but don't worry, they wouldn't miss this.
No, sirree, they wouldn't miss this over their dead bodies.
Important thing is to make sure that all those folks out there do not panic. Now, we got to jump on this thing, Murray. I want you to entertain them and just make sure everybody stays calm. CJ, you've got to find a way to communicate with the outside world.
Well, I've already got Derwin out on the patio trying to attract attention, but Houston, we're on the top floor of a skyscraper. Nobody particularly cares.
It's gonna be dark soon. Why don't you use a flashlight to send SOSs? Maybe we'll get lucky, find someone in the ground who reads Morse code.
That's a good idea, Murray.
Maharaj is dead.
It'll be all right.
Don't you touch me, ever.
Charming. Any luck?
I dispatched 2 squadrons of those planes, each with its own SOS message. I managed to attract absolutely nobody.
Well, that's par for the course because there's not much foot traffic in this part of town on Sunday evenings.
Good. That means people won't get wet. There's a storm blowing in.
Phones are working.
Listen, don't talk, just listen to me. My name's Matt Houston. We're stuck on the 4th.
Houston. That's the funeral march.
Yeah, I know, Murray. Someone's got a very lousy sense of humor.
I wonder if he had a family.
I couldn't tell you, Murray. I never met the man before today.
Houston, how can you remain so calm with everything that's going on?
Well, Murray, would it help you any if I just up and panic?
Well, no, but...
Yeah, Murray, listen, now, if it'll make you feel any better, I do have an ace in the hole.
We do?
Mm-hmm. Vince Novelli. You see, CJ and I were supposed to show up at little Tony's first communion party. Now, when we don't show up there...
Novelli will come after us.
That's right. Now, first, I think he's gonna phone. And when that doesn't work, he'll phone again and again.
And he knows we've got 26 separate lines coming in here, 2 backup generators. When he can't get through, he's gonna know something's wrong.
Like I said, Murray, ace in the hole.
How about a drink, your ladyship? I'm buying. Well, here's to marriage. A female plot to add to man's responsibilities and subtract from his rights. What would you know about marriage? You have never had the decency to marry any of your lovers. Maybe I've got too much decency to marry them.
Yeah, it looks like you're hard at work here. Did you find anything out?
Yes. Your piano has been rigged to play by remote control.
Remote control? Is that a sort of channel selector thing like people have on their television?
Basically, yes, but far more sophisticated.
Yeah, well, listen, whoever our mystery man or woman is, they've got a series of buttons that can, well, control the elevator, the piano, the phones. It can even blow up a mini bomb and fire a deadly death dart. And I'm just concerned about what they've got up their sleeve next.
You had to ask?
What's going on? You're supposed to be sending an SOS, not responding to one.
CJ, have we got any more candles around here anyplace?
I'm downstairs in the gym. I'll go get them.
Well, good. Murray, you stick close to her. I mean, really close.
You bet, boss.
Thanks, Houston.
You're absolutely positive, operator? Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I just wanted to... Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Houston's phone's still out of order. Relax, Bill. Go back to your table. Sit down. Eat. Drink. Later, we'll open up Tony's present.
That's good stuff. Wonder what they call it.
Wine.
Thanks, CJ.
That enough light for you, Houston?
Yeah, I believe it is for what I had in mind.
What exactly is that?
Well, I'll tell you, I thought we'd all play a little game called Show and Tell. Now, what I'd like everybody to do is place the contents of what you're carrying right here on the bar.
That is ridiculous. That's an invasion of privacy.
Well, yes, ma'am, you're right. I could not agree with you more, but I'll tell you something. The Maharaja's privacy was invaded something awful, and I fully intend to do something about it.
Well, I'll submit to a body search if you do it personally, Houston.
This is some other time, Clover.
Houston, what is the point of all this?
Well, I'll tell you, Brigadier, have you ever read the phrase in the good book, seek and ye shall find? Well, I'm planning on doing a little seeking and a little finding.
Find what?
Well, hopefully, like a dart gun or a remote control device, anything that the killer might be planning on using on his or her next victim.
Another killing?
That's right, Murray. There's a strong possibility that there could be several more. Because I really don't believe that whoever's responsible for sending him to that big Taj Mahal in the sky went to all that trouble for just one victim. No, I don't. So shall we get started here? Ladies first, hmm? Lady Celeste. Letters are personal. You can hang on to that if you wish.
Thank you.
Well, there's nothing here. Okay, gentlemen. Well, there is no remote control device or no dart gun, so I think it's about time we switch games. Let's say 20 questions. And the first question, ladies and gentlemen, is which one of us killed the Maharaja?
One of us.
Come off it, Clover. I mean, there is a man dead here, and I do not see any other suspects floating around. Now, let's just take it from the beginning, all right? Now, we do have the dart that killed the Maharaja.
May I see that?
Certainly.
This dart is used by Central African natives. I've seen these hellish things when I was there. They're tipped with a deadly, fast-acting poison.
Yes, well, so we've seen. But I tell you, the question is, has anybody else here been to Africa recently?
Just because I've been to Africa doesn't mean I killed him.
Well, I don't recollect anybody saying that you did, Brigadier. Now, there is one other thing that's been sticking in my craw. Yeah, you see, whoever's controlling all these electronic gadgets and gizmos has to be some kind of electronic wizard. I mean, to get in here on Friday after hours and rig the entire place, now that's something.
You mean someone who builds computers? Someone like me?
You're the one who said it.
Well, I'm also saying that I had no reason to kill that man. I never met him before today, and I had no motive.
Well, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Of course you didn't have a motive. I
Totally
totally
ridiculous.
vote.
Oh, come on, Houston. That's enough of this game.
Oh, now hold on, folks. Just hold it a minute, all right? Please. Derwin, you being an electronic crackerjack of sorts, would you mind seeing if you can breathe some life back in that chopper radio for me? Hmm?
I can try.
Thank you, sir. Now, friends, we've got ourselves a couple of problems here. One being that none of us here have a motive to kill the Maharaja. Two being that nobody seems to have met the man before today, or at least that's what I've been told.
You were told wrong. My husband, he'd met the Maharaja.
Yes, it was many years ago, in India. I was on a goodwill mission to Rajipur. He must have been all of 10 years old. I'd never have known him after all these years if we hadn't been introduced again today.
Well, let's strike two, Brigadier. Because he said something just before he died. He said, all of us in this room have something in common except for CJ and Murray. Now, does anybody here have an idea of what that common denominator might be?
Hey, Houston, I think I got something.
Everybody stay put, all right? Mayday, Mayday, come in. Can anybody hear me?
Mr. Houston was asking about common denominators. Frankly, Clover, I cannot think of anything more common than you. I know you. Mr. Houston knows you. My husband certainly knows you.
Steady on, little girl.
I have had about enough of your holier-than-thou attitude. No common thread exists. Derwin was a total stranger to me before today, so you can kiss your theory goodbye, Lady Celeste.
I'd rather you kissed my husband goodbye, you adulterous tramp! Ah!
Mayday, Mayday, can anybody read me? Come in, please.
It's a waste of time, Houston. What I got must have been that radio's death.
Houston, I think the natives are getting restless.
What is going on in there?
What is that? Couldn't you do anything about this?
Thank you, boy. I'm rather enjoying it.
Ladies, come on, ladies. Enough. You're supposed to be a lady.
Let me go! You're supposed to be a gentleman, not an adolescent schoolboy chasing after a promiscuous hippie. Please, please let me go! I want to get out of here!
There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
Somehow I don't feel like dancing. Lady Celeste's purse. Houston, what's the rule on reading other people's mail?
Well, I'd say if it happens to belong to a corpse and the contents of the said letter might save a few lives, my rule is go for it, CJ.
What a ghastly way to go.
I wanted us to be free of her. But not like this. Still, there is all that money.
Well, what'd you find out?
Well, if we were planning a stroll on the patio, our killer just canceled it.
Yeah, well, that's what I gathered after what happened to Lady Celeste.
How does that thing work?
It's an electronic force field. Electric eyes on either side of the door. Break that beam by walking through the field and, well, you saw what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, let's try something. Now, there's no way to deactivate this thing, huh?
If there is, I haven't found it.
Yeah, well, just out of curiosity. Murray, it's a wooden handle.
Great. Now we're really trapped. We can't even get out on the patio to send an SOS.
Well, tell me something, Dr. Wizard. We've all been walking through these doors since we arrived. Why wasn't somebody electrocuted then?
Because the killer didn't want them to die, yet. I figure we'll each be murdered in a different and very bizarre way.
Well, that's a cheery thought. If the killer's as smart as I think he is, he's got every possible exit wired in this office.
Excuse me. Houston, I just read Lady Celeste's letter. I suggest you do the same thing. Now that killer's messing around with my baby. Revenge to Houston 0. So far, you've been shut out.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to play.
The guilty 6 must die, including you, Houston. Wonderful.
Yeah, how come I get special billing?
What is this?
CJ, I do believe Mr. Revenge is having some fun with us. He's spoon-feeding us clues.
Monte Carlo, 5 years ago.
Must be Rajapur.
That's the late Maharaja. He's viewing India's Republic Day parade. Who will die next? I wonder if that's a multiple choice question.
Okay, that's it. I'm taking control of baby right now. Touch one more key and you die. Oh, really?
CJ.
Watch this.
CJ, hold it. Come here. Just hold your horses.
Thanks, Houston. That could have hurt.
Mm-hmm.
When's Dr. Houston going to get him?
I don't know, son. I just called his office and the phone is still out of order.
Tesoro, vieni qua, vieni. Come on and dance with Grandma. I want to see you shake, rattle, and roll. Vieni, Toto.
Any word from Houston? No, I'm going to send the patrol car around and check his building out.
Patrol car? You figure something's happened to him?
No, all I know is he's got 26 phone lines, 2 backup generators, and I still can't get in touch with him. If he's in that building, it doesn't make any sense.
You need some help?
Oh, I think I got it here. You know, it looks to me like this was electronically aimed and fired.
At me.
Well, not you specifically, CJ, but where you were sitting. Oh, would you look at this? I wonder what the killer had in mind for this sword.
Not a sword. It's a saber. There's a difference.
Well, excuse me, Brigadier. Don't get your crumpets all bent out of shape. It's just that, well, down home, we'd call this a Texas-sized frog sticker. It is some handsome handiwork, I must admit. You know, I saw one just like this when I was in England. Judging by the royal crest, I'd say it was from a king or a queen. Tell me something. Would you mind telling me your full name, Brigadier?
What on earth for?
Well, just for whatever it's worth, I guess.
Malcolm James Abercrombie.
It'll all be. It's got your initials on it.
May I see that?
Certainly.
It's mine. How on earth it got here, I have no idea. Her Majesty presented it to me 5 years ago.
Another coincidence, Brigadier. Now, have you ever seen that gun before?
It's a sterling. And in answer to your next question, it's made in Britain.
Hold it, Houston. An unused saber and a British gun does not make Malcolm guilty.
It's a good point, Clover, but I tell you something, all these coincidences do have a tendency to add up.
Like neglecting to mention the fact that you had previously met the Maharaja?
Or like the affair you've been having with Clover, which your wife objected to rather strenuously.
Your late wife.
You people seem to have formed some sort of conspiracy to find me guilty of things I'm not guilty of. Why should I kill Celeste? I could have divorced her. It would have settled everything.
Now, I'll tell you something. This is a letter from Lady Celeste to her attorney. Now, it looks as though she was about to tie a can to your tail. She was going to divorce you.
Leave you without a shilling.
That's right. And so you figured the best thing to do was to kill her because you were the only heir.
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Is it rubbish? Now, that fight that she got into earlier, now, you came into the room and all she wanted to do was exit, and you stopped her.
She was trying to get away. Poor thing could never face a confrontation. She always fled the room when one occurred.
That's right, but you stopped her. And I tell you, it looked an awful lot like you just pointed her at that patio door where she was electrocuted.
I did nothing of the kind. What do you people want of me?
Well, I'll tell you something. For the morale of everybody in this room, a full confession would be dandy.
That you will never have. Oh, I'm warning you. Houston, I don't want to have to use this.
Why don't you just put it down, Brigadier? I mean, you're not the type to be running around poking holes in people. Besides, it's very uncivilized.
Not to mention messy.
Why don't you just put the frog sticker down, Brigadier? And you and I'll have a little chat. Yourself a seat. That's more like it.
Still in the dark, Houston? Here's a clue or two.
Well, you just keep them coming, Mr. Revenge, because one of these days you're going to slip up and give me one clue too many.
Where did that film come from?
Well, I'm not sure, but maybe you could explain a little bit about it, Derwin.
There's nothing much to tell. It was about 5 years ago. I had just invented the Exodus home computer. And the California chapter of the American Electronics Association had given me a special award. They named me Man of the Year.
Yeah, well, Derwin, you being the electronical whiz kid that you are, maybe you could see if you can get control of baby back to us, huh?
I'll give it a try. It'll take some time, though.
Taps.
Yeah, but for whom? The Brigadier or the rest of us? That's 3 down and 3 to go, Murray.
Houston, something has got to be done.
Murray, I'm working on it.
How you doing, Derwin? Well, it's not easy, Houston, but I'm getting there.
Murray, what is going on? Houston, letting that person work on baby is a monumental mistake. You said it yourself. Practically everything in this office has been electronically rigged. And Derwin's...
I know, is an electronic genius.
Houston, he's got to be the killer.
Well, Murray, maybe he is and maybe he's not, but I tell you what keeps sticking in my mind is, now, a couple of years back, I had a layover at this airport, so I picked myself up one of those murder mysteries, you know? Well, it was all about a group of folks that were trapped in this house, and they were being picked off one by one.
That's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, I know, but see, I tell you, the way it ended, it turns out that the first victim really wasn't dead at all. See, he staged his death. And it was him that was picking off the people all along.
Houston, are you thinking...
Uh-huh.
Let's go look for the Maharaja.
Houston, they're all gone.
Okay, Bambino. Looks like it's gonna rain. I think we better go home like everybody else.
But Uncle Houston promised he'd be here, and he will never break a promise.
Yeah, I know. It's part of the cowboy code. But something must have come up.
Grazie per tutto, eh? Oh, Carl!
I am. Okay, Hopalong. We'll give it a little while longer.
You think that's...
Lieutenant, I checked out the Houston building like you said. All secure.
Front and back.
Every. Tight as a drum.
Are you sure?
Well, there was something funny.
Yeah, what?
It's sort of hard to explain.
Come on, Carl. Talk to me.
Well, when I walked around into the alley behind Houston's building, there was this... Lieutenant, you're gonna think I'm bonkers.
Come on, out with it now.
Well, there was this old wino sitting there all by himself.
Yeah.
And he was wearing an old, worn-out sports coat. Gray tweed. A dead ringer for the one I owned when I graduated high school.
That's it?
Told you it sounded bonkers.
Yeah, you did say that, Carl. Okay, look, if the gray sports coat shows up again, do me a favor. Don't call me. I'll call you.
Oh, Carl, are you hungry?
On a diet, Mama. I'll take a rain check.
Well, that should do it. I did a bypass operation on her. You should have control now.
I told everybody you were a genius, Derwin. I knew you could do it.
Yeah, listen, CJ, would you put up that Indian parade stuff with the Maharaja in it?
Okay.
Since he was murdered first, let's stick with him.
What do you expect to find, Houston?
Well, hopefully a little proof that I really did read all those chapters in the book.
And the Maharaja faked his death.
Oh, Houston, you took his pulse. He had to be dead.
Either that or he found a way to make us believe he was dead.
How?
I'll tell you, Murray, there's several different ways you can do it. Now, there's some drugs. They're not your average, everyday, over-the-counter drugs, but there's a few of them that will suppress the vital signs temporarily. Now, hold it, CJ, would you blow that up a little bit? Now, before tonight, I never set eyes on that man. Now, I've done business with him in the past, but always long distance. Yeah, CJ, see if you can blow it up just a little bit more.
Sure.
Okay, now freeze that. Okay, folks, meet the real Maharaja of Ranjapur.
So our guest was a phony Maharaja.
That's what I'm betting on, CJ. Listen, would you put up the Monte Carlo shot of Clover? Now, when was this taken?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Now, why does that phrase keep popping up? 5 years ago.
I wonder if that's the common denominator that we've been looking for.
Eastern, I think you've got something. I mean, 5 years ago, the Brigadier was presented his saber. 5 years ago, Derwin won the Man of the Year award. And 5 years ago, Clover won the Monte Carlo race.
But Clover, at that point in time, besides winning the race, was there anything that happened in your life, anything unusual or different?
Nothing I can think of. I won the race, and I flew back to the States a day or two after that. Oh, there was that party given in my honor.
No, wait, what party? I mean, who gave the party for you?
Oh, this American I met in Monte Carlo, I would rather forget.
Well, has he got a name?
Brogan.
T. Dempster Brogan?
That's the one. Do you know him?
And then some.
Now, I know a Brogan, too. Derwin, do you know a Brogan $5 million worth? Ladies and gentlemen, all the pieces are finally beginning to fit together. You know, we're all our own common denominator here. Derwin, me, Clover, and the late Abercrombies. You see, just 5 years ago, Brogan set up a so-called non-profit organization, built a dam in Ranjapur. We all collectively gave him $20 million to do it, supposedly to help the starving natives.
And Brogan went south with the 20 mil.
Yeah, but then he was arrested in India. On our deposition, he was tried, convicted, and sent to an Indian prison. And I tell you, judging from what happened tonight, I'd say that he escaped or he was released, one of the two.
Houston, are you saying...
Well, Mr. Revenge Brogan, guess who? I know you're in here. And I'll bet you $1 you've been using my elevator to come and go as you please, and I'll bet you're in there right now. And I know you got your heart set on killing me and Clover and Derwin. I'll tell you something, it'd be a very big financial mistake, because if you kill me, I can't write you a big, fat, blank check. No, and I know you got very expensive habits. So what do you say, Maharaja? Why don't you come on out of there and we'll all hunker down over the checkbook here and get this thing squared away, huh? My congratulations on your makeup expertise, Maharaja Brogan.
It's the actor in me, Houston. I always wanted to be one.
I guess killing is a little more profitable, is that it?
Okay. Everyone but Houston. Into the elevator. Our friends stay locked in while you and I hunker down over your checkbook.
Now, how do I know that you're not just going to kill us all when I hand over the check to you?
You don't.
Thing hasn't been fired since my great-granddaddy used it in his last turkey shoot. Hey, buddy.
Uncle Houston, you promised you'd come. I knew you'd keep your promise no matter how long it took.
Well, partner, what are you still doing here, hmm?
Houston! Oh, guarda, guarda, guarda. The princess and the pauper. What kind of crazy party you been to?
Yeah, Houston, what happened? You look like somebody used your face for a soccer ball.
Well, it's really not that bad. See, Vince, we went to a terrific party. I mean, all kinds of nifty people.
Real nifty people. Maharajas, the English aristocracy, a brigadier.
Yeah, that's right. And you know how those things are. I mean, we just kind of got trapped.
Good point, Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Houston. I'm so glad I finally got you. I've got good news. The coroner found the other two in the stairwell. And I've got better news. The bomb damage to the chopper, the machine gun holes in the furniture, the broken picture window, and the bloodstains on the carpet, all covered by insurance. $50 deductible.
Houston, what's he talking about?
I have no idea.
It's a $100 deductible.
Better cock your pistols.
You. As heavy as this was, I should have known. I'll take your money, all right. But I would have killed Houston for nothing.
Come on, Houston. For crying even in a bucket. Let's open some more of these.
Well, now, come on, we gotta save a couple for when Mama, Vince, and the kids get here. I mean, they want to open some.
Just one, maybe two.
Bo, didn't your mom ever tell you about what killed the cat?
Well, maybe just one more, I guess.
Well, I hope you got something useful instead of all these toys and stuff you're probably just gonna give to some museum. Happy birthday, Houston. Guess who? Now they got guessing games.
Well, Houston will be able to tell who it is from the present.
We never had all these guessing games in my house. You got socks for your birthday and underwear for Christmas.
Buon compleanno! Ecco qua! To toast your birthday, caro Houston. The best. Chianti Classico, the best.
Well, thank you, Mama. Listen, did you get here all by your lonesome?
No. Vincent just dropped me off. He's going now to pick the boys.
Well, you're going to be sorry that you're here early because you're going to have to listen to Bo on his favorite subject, which is how poor he was.
Oh?
Y'all go ahead and make fun. I'll tell you, we're poor enough not to waste time on foolishness like this. Look at this, Houston. A mounted rabbit's head and they done put horns on it.
Well, Bo, that's a Texas jackalope. You know, cross between jackrabbit and antelope.
Jackalope.
Yeah, Mama, they're very rare these days.
Ain't no use at all. Ain't no purpose to it. Wait a minute, it could be a clock. I think it might be a clock. Except where you tell the time's a puzzle.
Why do you think it's a clock?
Because it's ticking.
Oh.
Houston.
CJ, I'm not getting any pulse. Wait. He's still alive.
I'll call the hospital.
I'm gonna stay with him, all right?
Oh, Virgine Santa, que no muere. Dear God, please don't let him die. Oh, poor Bo. Poor Bo.
Doc.
Well, your friend has had a lot of luck. If you hadn't gotten him to the hospital so quickly by helicopter, well, I can't promise he'll stay as lucky. He has a severe concussion. There's a subdural hematoma.
Listen, Doc, if you'll just speak English for me, it'll make this whole thing a lot easier.
But if there are any next of kin, they should be informed.
He hasn't really got anybody. I guess I'm about as next to him as anyone.
And we'll hope he continues to be lucky.
Nurse Bartlett, call physical therapy on 214. Nurse Bartlett, call physical therapy on...
Houston? Houston?
I don't know. The doctors are doing everything they can, but I just don't know right now.
Houston! Houston, come on, let me help. Will you remember me? I'm the police.
We know who did this, Vince. We know.
No, sweetheart.
We know who did it, Vince! What's the matter with you? Don't you read the news? Look at this. Huh? This man is a contract killer. I'm the one to put him away, Vince. Now, he swore if he ever got out, he was coming after me. Well, he filled his end of the bargain. He's out. He gave it his best shot. Now it's my turn. This is just a little something for the paper boy, all right?
Houston, you can't do it this...
CJ, we've got work to do. CJ!
Dirk Bronson. We can't really be sure where he is, though, Houston. But his last known associates are labor racketeers. And he worked for this man, Fred Bothig. Apparently they're quite tight, but whether or not Bothig had anything to do with the breakout, nobody knows.
Well, he knows where Bronson is, and that's all that matters.
Houston. You be careful. You be real careful, okay?
Bronson.
I'm sorry, Mr. Botha.
It's all right, honey.
But I tried to
No,
keep...
it's all right.
Where is he?
What is this? No introductions, no hello, no nothing?
I asked you, where is he?
All right, it's okay. I know who you are. You got out of your depth, didn't you, putting Bronson away? Well, you're out of your depth here, too. Now, if you're smart, you make a U-turn, you get your tail out of here.
Listen, I asked you a question.
All right. All right. Down by the water somewhere. I don't know, maybe the marina or something. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. I just heard that. You're a dead man, Houston. I mean, you think you're smart, don't you? Well, you're dumb. You're chasing your tail around trying to find Bronson. You got emotional on this one. It's a big mistake. You should have just stopped and tried to figure it out.
So why don't you educate me?
All right. How did Bronson break out? I mean, he didn't blast his way out, did he? You wonder about that, huh? He got out easy. He greased his way out with money. I mean, that's big money, too. Bronson doesn't have that kind of money.
So somebody broke him out.
Yeah, all right, you win a cigar on that.
Just to get to me.
Huh. Oh, well, you win another cigar. All right, who did it, huh? Why don't you try for the big stuffed panda up there on the shelf?
Castanos.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the look on your face when you heard
I don't believe you.
All right, don't believe it, you know. I mean, that's the word on the street. Castanos wanted to buy Bronson, anybody else to get to Houston.
It's impossible.
Impossible, huh? Castanos does the impossible.
It can't be done, that's all there is to it. Simply no way Mr. Castanos could operate from here. He's segregated from any other of our resident population. He has no visitors. The mail is screened.
No mail in or out, huh?
Mr. Houston, Mr. Castanos is a homicidal, psychotic killer. But this is not Poland, or Uganda for that matter. He is permitted mail. Of course, we would read every word. But there has been none.
None at all.
Hard to imagine, isn't it? One of the world's wealthiest men.
Copper mines, real estate properties, shipping lines, amusement parks, you name it.
Father leaves him an empire, and he decides to become Jack the Ripper. Well, when you're through, you let me know. And leave your pass at the gate.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Houston. Happy birthday to you. Did you have a happy birthday, Mr. Houston? I trust at least it was eventful.
It was you, wasn't it?
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm insane.
Listen, would you get the doctor for me, please?
Houston, a word of advice. Do the things you always wanted to do. Vacation. See those old friends just once more. And if you are a religious man, pray. You ruined my mission, Mr. Houston.
Your mission? All you did was carve up helpless women.
No. My master, Lord of the netherworld, revered be his name, sent me on a mission to find the soul in the body of women inside them. I looked everywhere. You stopped me from finding it. Maybe your associate, that C.J. Parsons. Maybe she is hiding it from me. Inside her body.
Listen to me. If anything happens to her...
Temper, Mr. Houston.
You really got them all fooled, don't you? I should have killed you when I had the chance.
You can't kill me. The police can't kill me. How many bullets did it take for them just to capture me? The doctors say I am a miracle, which I am.
Tell me about Bronson.
Bronson is one. There are others. It is all arranged. I have put it into work. They are going to kill you, Mr. Houston. I chose only the best people. You are going to die.
white wood and company that you could retire on. And I'll just bet you it's all due to good old Mr. Castanos.
Doctor, for the moment, we're including you in our confidence, but he must not know we've been here. We'll learn a lot more from keeping him under surveillance than if we arrest him.
Vince, I just came up with a fistful of airline tickets to all over the country. Tell me something. Why would an orderly be flying to all these cities?
Houston, all these airline tickets were to cities that had prisons. But according to Baby, all the cities had prison breaks that were on the same date as the airline tickets. Now, you know about Bronson because you nailed him, but there are two men that you don't know about.
Yeah, CJ, how's Bo doing? Is he holding up steady?
So far, so good, Houston. He's out of intensive care.
So far, so good.
Alvin Ambler, he's a very, very heavy hitter. He's mob-related. He is a recent resident of Walla Walla State Prison, and about a month ago he escaped. He's wandering around out there somewhere. New Jersey State Prison, Clevis Sims. He's a killer. And he's killed in many different ways.
Well, I suppose for $1 million and house of your choice in Switzerland, he probably thinks it's a pretty good line of work.
Houston, these are the men who are hunting you.
CJ, at least we know who they are.
You had dinner yet?
No, I haven't. Where would you like to go,
Well, if I said Tahiti and out of all this mess, you'd say you had things to do. So how about Mama Navilli's?
Sounds good. Why don't we stop to see Bo on the way over there, Stay down.
He slept pretty comfortable all last night and all day that I've been here.
It's the best thing, Mama. I spoke to the doctor. He's encouraged.
Encouraged? Nice word. But he won't say a thing. Siamo sempre lì. God makes the cure and the doctor sends the bill. Although I must say that this doctor seems to be a good man, huh?
Well, thank you for being here, Mom. It makes me feel better.
Of course I'm here. Where else would I be? Oh, by the way, your friend, Mr. Lamar, he called from Texas. I told him not to fly back. There's nothing he can do. And besides, if Bo wakes up and he finds all his friends gathered around his bed, for sure he's going to think he's dying, and poof, up to St. Peter. Oh, how I wish I had that vigliacco that did this in front of me right now.
No, you don't, Mama.
But who is this man that makes war on Houston?
Houston never talked about him, Mama. His name is Castanos.
But is he that bad?
Yes, he's that bad. A few years ago, Houston received a call from a friend of his who was in the diplomatic corps, stationed in Austria. The man's wife had disappeared. By the time Houston got there, they'd found the man's wife. At least they were able to identify her from the dental charts. Castanos left that much. Houston tracked him all through Europe, from Vienna to Corfu, to Rome, to Paris. It was easy because he'd left a trail of bodies. Houston almost caught up with him in London, but the police there got to him first. London bobbies don't carry guns. 3 of them cornered Castanos. He killed all 3, bare hands.
A madman's strength.
Houston continued to follow him everywhere he went. He followed him until he caught up with him again in San Diego, and he put the police onto him there. Our police do have guns. But it took 13 bullets to bring him down. 13. Now you know why Castanos hates Houston. He's on his way to see Castanos right now.
Mr. Castanos. Mr. Castanos. Fellows, I need some entry support, please. Mr. Houston.
Thank you.
Castanos? Mr. Houston's here. He'd like to speak with you again. Oh, come on now. You've had 8 hours sleep like everybody else.
That's not Castanos. Not him.
Call the infirmary.
Now, don't fight me, honey, or I'll have to hurt you.
Officer, this man was trying to assault me. His name is Alvin Ansel.
I have her.
Get the door. You can do that at least.
How wrong I was. How totally foolish of me to hire people to kill Houston. Why, that was not ordained at all. I think how much fun it can be. Why, it would be delicious to kill Houston myself, as it should be.
The police are looking for you. I don't think they realize that this is personal between you and Houston.
Oh, no, no.
I'll tell them. If you let me go,
The soul of man is in women. Did you know that?
I'll tell them. They'll believe me.
You might be the one. I think you might be.
The one?
almost there.
You are really very nice, Miss Parsons.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I have to do this now. But it's really for the best. It will save so much trouble.
Damn it, Vince, don't tell me not to lose my temper. Now, you can't tell me in a town with 8,000 cops and one all-points bulletin that you can't come up with one lead.
Look, when I know something, you'll know something. We're doing everything we can. And in the meantime, calm down.
Fine. Would you give me a call if something comes up?
You got it, buddy.
CJ, where the hell are you? CJ, where are you? Castanos?
I have her, Houston. Are you there, Houston? Do you hear me? Houston?
I hear you.
Do you know where I am? It has been closed since I went away. We can have it all to ourselves.
The amusement park.
Why not join me? Just you and CJ and me. Let us see what we can dream up for amusement.
Yeah, well, I'm going to join you there, Castanos.
Of course you are. Because you understand she's merely the bait for you. After you, I'll deal with her. And Houston, I think she's the one. This time, I think I'll find the soul. And Houston, alone. If I see the police, I start to work on her. I haven't had much practice. I can work very quickly. But then, of course, you know that.
Mr. Houston, I couldn't help over here.
Keep it under your hat, would you, Pam?
You have to tell Lieutenant Novelli.
Don't you worry about a thing. I will handle Lieutenant Novelli.
It's just that I'm scared. I've never seen you with a gun before.
No? Oh, you haven't. This is different.
Oh, you're here, Castanos? Why don't you come out and show yourself, huh?
Welcome, Houston. You're right on schedule.
Where is she, Castanos? If this is just between me and you, why don't we keep it that way, huh?
Look around you, Houston. I own all that you can see. And now, I own you. And later, I shall own her.
This won't take long, my dear. I'll be back soon. Don't fret now.
I didn't need him anymore, Houston. He would have spoiled it. Your police can find him later. It's just you and me now, Houston, as I promised. So, come ahead. I could have put that one right through your chest.
You're wild. You swore no cops.
If you got risk leaving her with you, if anything happened to me.
I told you what I would do.
Let's roll. Move out! Take Castanos out if you can.
Keep shooting! Shoot! Shoot!
Houston, it's over! It's over! Nobody can live through that fire we just laid down!
Well, where's the body, Vince?
We'll find him! All right, you guys, check downstream. The rest of you guys fan out. That body's gotta be here someplace.
You all right?
Houston, is it over?
It's over.
Your shotgun, Houston. One shell left, but one is enough.
Now it's over. Oh, my God. He's still alive. Get an ambulance.
I ain't so fragile I need to be mollycoddled.
I'll mollycockle you over my knee.
Wheelchairs are for babies. Besides, my head's what's got hurt, not my legs.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, listen, how you feeling?
Now you listen to me, Senor Bo. You do as you're told and you behave. The doctor says you stay in the chair. You stay in the chair, capito? Ah.
Oh, there he is. Come on out here. Hey, welcome back, buddy. Good to have you. How's your
Thank you. Oh, it's good to be back. Thank you. Thank you. These things are real.
Oh, he's so stubborn and ungrateful. I mean, he says he don't need no help.
Now, that was this morning before these spells started to hit me. Every once in a while, I feel sort of faintish.
Yeah, well, I bet you it's nothing that something cold wouldn't take care of. You know, like a beer, right, girls?
Yeah, I believe you're right. If you angels of mercy would be so kind as just direct me right over to the beer, I sure appreciate it.
This way.
Thank you.
I'll tell you something, Mama. Sometimes I think that old boy's not as dumb as he looks.
I don't, Houston.
Yeah.
Ah! Get down in that chair.
No, I'll tell him.
CJ, what's the matter?
That was the hospital.
Castanos.
He woke up in the hospital ward, Houston. Laughed at them. The doctors. Said he was amazed they could think he'd ever die. Then he tried an escape. Dove through the window of the hospital room. He was on the 14th floor. It's over, Houston. He's dead.